All right, it is Monday. We are live and getting our act together. I don't know where I'm going to put that to keep Bean out of it. All right, so it's been a minute since we've been working on this between life and everything happening. So we're coming back to it, and we're going to be working on the background still. I'm not going to put as much of this out because it went a lot further than I had expected it to. And fun fact, I don't remember what brush I was using last time. I think I know what brush it was, but I need to find it. And there lies the problem, because I don't know what I did with it. I'm not seeing it in my brush bucket here. I don't see it in my envelope. It wasn't one of the new ones. What did I do with you? I thought it was one of the ones that had... There it is. Kind of small, but it also looks like the one I last used, because it needed to be a little bit small to get in there for some spots. My brush bucket is just a... Well, I have two brush buckets. I have a brush bucket of brushes that I use more often, and then I have my overflow brush bucket, which is a plastic shoebox from Dollar Tree. That one was a plastic vase from Dollar Tree that I picked up some time ago. Now I'm just trying to use up this black paint here. So this is a tube of black Liquitex. I believe it is Mars Black. Let me get something there. Okay, we should be in frame. So I'm basically just working on the outline with the black, and then I'm painting in, like from the Seahorse out at the moment. Keep forgetting how thick this black paint is compared to the other stuff I was using. Like, way thicker than the Americana. I kind of prefer the more liquidier paint. So I kind of like that it dries a little bit faster. But I wasn't sure I had enough black for the entirety of the background. To be perfectly honest, and I wanted to use this paint up so that way I don't feel bad about having an almost full tube of paint that I never used. It kind of just got pushed to the wayside a bit. So I keep forgetting that because other people do stuff with one medium doesn't mean I have to. I mean, what I had was still acrylic paint. And you can do some different stuff with the thicker, slower dry time paints, like they do blend a bit better at times. And they do stay wet a little bit longer. I mean, you can add mediums to extend dry time. But I also like to show that you can do stuff with budget supplies if that's what you have access to. So you could do this on super budget paint. Like you wouldn't have to do the color shift. I mean, the color shift was a little bit cheaper at Walmart than it was at Hobby Lobby, which was kind of surprising, but it was. But I mean, if you saved up, you could get those other colors. I wasn't using that much color shift from Hobby Lobby. I think it was two colors, because the gold paint I've had for a little bit, so we used that on the funky fish, and I still had a bit of that left, and I had been wanting to do this one ever since we were working on the funky fish. So that gold paint's gonna go a decent distance for what we were using it for. And then I got like a shimmery white. I got that from Walmart too. That wasn't too bad. And by not too bad, I mean under $5 for a 2-ounce bottle. I think it was like 2 something. Like, trust me, I understand a tight budget. I'm not somebody that's like, oh, it was only $150 for like 3 colors. No, no. That's luxury bougie art supplies, in my opinion. I'm glad that you can afford that. I just want some people to understand that's expensive. And that's out of a lot of people's budgets. At least it's very much out of mine. Sorry, my eye's itchy. Our allergies are hitting us like a freaking freight train these past few days. Okay. So I'm gonna have to turn this guy here in a minute. So this stuff does have a bit of a shine to it as it's drying. This is the non-dry. It's gotten madder than this, but there's still a slight bit of a sheen to it, a gloss to it, that the Americana paints don't have. And I kind of prefer the matte finish, at least while I am working. Because then I can see a little bit better. Because with all the lights on, it gets very bright with the wet, shiny paint reflecting everything back. Okay. This thing that I have the paint in my hand, it's just a tiny plastic tray that I'd gotten some Milano cookies in. It's just the plastic tray that the cookies were sitting in. I was like, you know what? I can use that still. That's gonna be a lot lighter to hold than my paint plate for this. And with the amount of room that this guy takes up on my work surface, it works out a little bit better. So I just made sure it was clean of all the cookie crumbs, wiped it out, and we're in business, essentially. We are starting a little early today. Wanted to start a little early because Doggo didn't get to go to his favorite place this morning. We might try this afternoon. And husband has to do something tonight if he's up to it, if he's feeling a little better. He didn't feel up to going on the morning run, so Doggo's a little angry about that. Or at least hugely disappointed. So I figured, well, if I start now, we might be able to stop a little early if we have to. And I had missed a couple weeks on this due to various reasons of whether I had migraine trying to start, and I was trying to deal with that, keep it from being too bad, or weather and Doggo being upset over weather, and you know, all that fun stuff. The only trouble, well, not the only trouble, but one of the main troubles I have with this particular paint being so shiny is that I have a hard time seeing if I've missed anywhere. Until well after it's dried a bit, which is mildly frustrating. I was kind of busy these past couple of days, so I didn't get much time to edit, but I am working on the third set of 20 videos that I'm rendering in those sets. So I am on video, I'm on the video block of 41 to 60 now for the tissue paper project. Of their varying lengths. Like some are like 45-minute clips, and then others are like 2.5 hours. So they do vary, depended on what was going on, or, you know, interruptions of the day if I had to walk away to take care of something else. And then some sections I was working on the edge that the camera couldn't really see, so that'll I have to cut out and stuff. But I've got 40 clips rendered for I think a total of 2 hours at the moment. Well, 40 video recordings, put it that way. It's way more than 40 clips, but after I edited everything down. And I don't think I can get away with speeding it up any faster than I have, because I think it will be unwatchable at that point. I think it's at a decent speed at the moment. It's going to be a long guy. It was almost 7 full months that it took me to finish it, because I looked at the date on the last video that was recorded, and that was like the end of July. Like July 19th or 20th or something like that. So I hope everybody's having a good Monday. Oh, my eyes are all icky today. Okay, I'm gonna slide this down a little bit. Do miss how liquidy my other paint was, although this could be a little bit thicker because of its age. That is possible, but it has been some time since I've used these, I guess would be considered traditional artist tubes of paints that are a bit thicker in general. So I'm painting around the outside of my bubbles. I'm not sure what I want to do about the inside yet. I should probably paint the inside black and then like maybe do like a glaze or a wash over the inside. So Bean has figured out how to get up on top of our refrigerator. Unfortunately. Save that. Kinda a little bit of a wonky shaped bubble, but don't think I'm gonna outline the bubbles in gold. Don't know that that's really necessary. We'll see. I might end up doing it just for like the flow of everything, since everything else is gonna be outlined. It might look weird for that not to be. Sort of situation. To be real careful here. It's like I don't want it to be too thick, you know, but it needs to be kind of a little bit thicker because it's the outer edge. Actually, I have no idea where Bean is right now. Him and Cal were wrestling when I was first getting started. And I see Cal, but I don't know where he's at. When they're not together, I'm usually like, oh no, what is he getting into? It's kind of like, you know, oh no, the kids are quiet. What are they into? Sort of situation. And then you find them, and then there's like markers all over the walls or something like that. So I might have to do a couple coats for the outer, well, not for the outer, well, yeah, for the outer rim of the bubble. And a lot of people are like, just paint it black and redo your circles. Yeah. Then I gotta try to figure out where I had them placed again. And that might be easier in one sense, but then I have to try to find my chalk pencil or grab like a white colored pencil because I don't have any watercolor pencils. I probably should get a couple. At least individual ones. Probably. I'm not sure how far we will get today. We will certainly try to get as far as we can. I'll worry about the edges after stream today if I have any paint left. I don't have to worry about touching it. I do want to rinse this though. I can feel the paint getting tacky in our brush here. Always good to do a maintenance rinse, especially if you're not using a custom mixed color. Oh, this must be a new one. I don't have any paint on it yet. Like, what on earth is that noise? I think the husband fell asleep. No. That might be Ed and Bean. Actually. Never mind. Ed must be in the window. I might have to go separate them in a second if they don't sort it themselves. Yeah, in fact, I do. Hold on one second. Alright, of course, when I put everything up and go to deal with him, they've separated. Always the way. There's some spots here that I'm like trying to paint over, but they're not going away. So I guess that's just the way the light is hitting it. I guess. Lots of fuzz in the air today. I guess all the cats are starting to shed. Okay. I mean, if I can get these bubbles painted around, we'll be in good shape. Because right now, they're the most tedious part about this. At the moment. will be looking pretty good. At least we don't have too many bubbles to do. I didn't go too overboard with them. At least it doesn't seem like I did. But looking back on what I have done so far today, I'm like, oof. We have not gotten very far. But, hold on a second. Sorry, my mom needed something. Huh?
I was debating if I had to get in there first, so I think I'm good for now.
There. And just kind of work my way out from that edge. I'm gonna have to turn this guy at some point here. And then we'll be back working on the same side, but at the other end of the table. Once I go to spin him here. I could use a bigger brush. I could be back and forth between this brush and a bigger brush. But this brush is doing okay enough. And I really don't want two brushes in play at the same time. That I'm swapping back and forth between. And I feel like I'm wasting more paint. Like, I don't have a specific deadline on this one. I was just trying to get it done as somewhat quickly as I could. And it probably would have been done by now if I hadn't missed a couple of sessions on it. But I think we'll be able to get my mom's Christmas gift done in time. Even if we start working on that in like 2 weeks, it should arrive today. And then I have to look at all the instructions and all that. I mean, I could do the edge real quick, but I was doing that with a different brush. So I think I will just wait until towards the end of stream time to fully go after that. Although I am kind of done with this one side. Again, close without being overly thin as I can get here. Without completely destroying my bubble shape. Oh gosh. Had some spots that I could not tell if they were missed opportunities to be filled in or just the way the light was hitting. It's so funny with this paint that you go one way and it's just not filling in, and then you have to like completely paint in a different direction. To even hope to get that particular spot covered. Okay. How are we looking? Not too bad. Oh, goody. Now Cal and Bean are gonna start. Hey! I have a spray bottle with water that we usually spray at Cal when he's being bad. A lot of the time we only have to shake it. Sometimes it doesn't work. We're trying to teach Bean the spray bottle means calm down or stop doing what you're doing. I don't know if he's figuring that out finally, because the first few times I had to spray him, he just looked at me like, what? So, he wasn't all that deterred by the water. Kitties, don't. Okay, you need to be off my chair because you're shaking it. Come on, down. Get down. Go on. No. Thank you. I need as steady of a hand as I can get right now. And you climbing my chair like Everest. With 10 pounds of climbing gear is not going to help that. Oh my goodness. You two are something else sometimes. I swear they're like little kids. Full moon coming isn't helping either. It's definitely not. Mr. Bean has been a wild man the past couple of days. For sure. Okay. Alright, so probably gonna need to do another rinse here. Pretty soon. My brush feels a little gunky. And it's hard to describe, it's just, you know, it feels like there's a lot of paint building up in there. What point I do have on this one's feeling a little bogged down. Okay. Like these bubbles were like, oh, this will be cool looking, and now I'm like, do I really want these bubbles in here? I need them. I need something up here. Because without them, it's just too empty. And the bottom feels too heavy. And I feel like the bubbles over here kind of help. Since the seagrass is that high on that section. And I feel like I needed something here. To do some touch-ups here. You know what, let me go ahead and rinse this. Still on that same blob of heat that I dumped into this container. I learned that from last week, not to put out too much too soon. Because that'll be problematic. I do miss my art desk. I had a pretty good sized art desk, and I'm kicking myself that I didn't bring it with me when we moved down here. It had all kinds of room on the surface. Oh, it was perfect. Tilted top. I haven't been able to find anything that was that size since, although I don't really have room for it specifically. But I could have tried to make room for it somewhere. I loved that thing. It had a little tray that clipped to the side that you could put like pens or pencils or all the things. I mean, of course, with the cats, nothing is sacred, and I'm sure everything would have been all over the floor. But I do deeply regret not bringing it with me. We did have room in the truck. But it's one of those things, I guess. Guess next time I'll have to either custom build one or try to find one. And hope it's not too much money. Art furniture can be pretty pricey. I think I had bought my last one. And that was with a coupon and it was expensive. Alright. This worked in here. We've almost got this side front surface done. Okay. So we're gonna try our hand at embroidery soon. Nothing super fancy. It's not like I'm freehanding anything. So eventually I wouldn't mind trying. But let's baby step it first, right? Or we get too carried away. This kit was supposedly for beginners. I might go back if I want to keep going with it and get one of those kits with like all the different stitches on it. It's like teaching you each different stitch. If this goes okay. So we'll see. We'll see. Sorry I keep putting my hand over it. I'm trying to see if there's any white splotches or where I might have missed getting some paint worked in. Oh, okay. Yay, I had a black shirt on because I just dropped my paintbrush and it hit my shirt. I don't think I got anything on me, but hey, it's a black shirt, so it doesn't really matter. It won't be noticeable. At least not for some time. Not until the shirt starts to fade. As black shirts inevitably do. Okay. Still not too bad considering that I've had to paint around all these circle guys here. Definitely much faster in the wide open areas, as most things are. Cats, come on now. That's dead. Oh gosh. Oh, it looks like YouTube grabbed that one because Moobot didn't. You just created your account yesterday. You've already been flagged as a ban evader. Okay. Like, how many reports does it take for an account to get fully banned? Do they ever get fully banned? Because right now it's just tagged as likely evader, which seems like that was just like AI temporarily dealing with it. Hi, hi, hi!
Miss Beans jumped up where Snuffle's face was, and she didn't appreciate it.
My goodness, Snuffles. Everybody's being sassy today. Could we tone down the sassy, please? Some days just be sassy, yo. I guess. Especially with these guys. Got some bits in the middle. I guess I don't have to worry about the middle so much if I'm doing that wash over it. But at the same time, there's a part of me that's like, no, there's a white speck. It's gonna stand out. We must deal with it now. Probably gonna have to turn this guy soonish. Only to keep my hand out of the way. If only. I don't even know if I want to know what that was. Something made a metal crashing noise in the other room. Not even sure what that could have possibly have been. I'm sure it was Bean getting into something. Alright, I know I said I was probably going to do this part at the end, but then that is something that I have to deal with. Let's see. Can we... Oh, nope, I forgot. That goes the opposite way. There we go. So nothing fancy, just filling in the edge here. Oh, I heard a bird. One of our woodpeckers in the area has found our suet. And we saw a finch in the one feeder. Oh, they're starting to find the feeder now. Ever so slowly. We didn't really put anything out over the summer because it was summer. There was stuff for them to eat around and all. Plenty of bugs and all that, but been trying to feed them during the winter. Now we didn't put our hummingbird feeder out this year because we hadn't been seeing any. And then my mom, like a week ago, said she saw one a couple mornings in a row looking. So we put the feeder out, and I guess that opportunity passed because they never came back. So, or they moved on. Entirely possible. I just want to get this section on its way to drying. When I have to go to put it up for the day. Because it's not like a super secure spot, and I do kind of have to sit it in a little crevice that this fits in. So I want to make sure my edges here are at least somewhat dry, I suppose. Oh, maybe it wasn't Bean, maybe it was my mom. So I hear her in the kitchen now. Let's see about turning this guy. Seeing how much I've missed now that I'm looking at it from this direction. And how much is just the way the light's deciding to hit it weird. Oh, that might just be the way the light is hitting it. I could try to have any paint on me. I will say the thickness of this paint does tend to annoy me after a while.
You okay?
Yeah. I'm okay.
Okay.
My painting is not okay, but I'm okay. Damn it, hand. My shitty hand strikes again. I mean, I can paint over it if I have to. I don't really want to. Alright. Okay. Fix that. That was almost a disaster. Almost. more worried about the fact that there might have been paint on my arm. I'm like 2 seconds from adding water to this paint. Because it's just being so thick that it's almost too thick. It feels like I'm fighting with it. Which is never a great feeling when it feels like you're battling against your supplies. It's always a bit frustrating. Am I in frame? Kind of in frame. Okay. Alright, and then we've got this. Cow! He makes those noises whether the kitten's touching him or not. So, I assure you, it's just cow being cow. Because when Ed's had enough, Ed leaves the room. Post haste. Cow keeps coming back for more. I don't know if it's just cow's stubbornness or if cow's playing. It seems to be play. Because we've caught him holding Bean down and licking him, and then they'll be at the food bowl together, and Cal will be licking Bean's head. So it seems to be, from everything that we've been observing and researching, that these two are just being boys. And yes, before you ask, Mr. Bean has been fixed. He was fixed on the 13th of September. Cow, don't be such a drama queen. When the others don't want to deal with Bean, they run off and hide. You, on the other hand, are either too stubborn or want to play. It's one or the other. I mean, Little's given them the business a couple of times. I don't think he knows what to make of Little. Like, he has the look on him that he wants to play, but she's been exceedingly gentle with him based on how pissy and angry she gets towards a couple of the other cats at times. So I'm not really sure how she feels about him yet. She's definitely keeping him at paw's length, so to speak. I will say this paint does feel sticky when it goes on. But that could just be the age of the paint. But I didn't want to waste it. It was still usable. Okay. Can't tell if that is the husband snoring or Snuffles.
Snuffles.
Okay. I wasn't sure there for a second.
I'm usually a little bit deeper. Usually. Especially when it's not.
I'm actually going to need more paint here. We'll say this paint has definitely started to feel a little bit more like linoleum printer block ink. Like, it feels like I could smooth it out with a brayer at this point. So the goal is to get the background completely done. And then, excuse me, and then come back in with the iridescent white on the bubbles, and then the gold on the horse, and trim everything out in the gold. Like, that is how I want to progress this. We'll see if things work out quite that way. back there. So I never did draw in my eyeball there. Okay, I'm not sure how much paint is still in this tube. What?
Thanks, Mr. Bean. She's now being snappy at everyone who disturbs her. Good for you.
Snuff, snuff.
No. You're okay.
Come on. There. I'm sure there's more paint than I think there is in there.
Really, you two? Really?
What?
Cow got his claws stuck in my shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Beans is playing with the other half of it.
Jesus Christ.
You guys are dorks.
They're like little kids that are like 5 and 7 or something. Alright, I did add like a paintbrush's worth of water. Into this. Just to try to help that flow a little bit better. Snuffles! Chill! He wasn't hurting you, he was getting down.
It's okay. It's okay. No, play with my toys.
My goodness. The cat didn't even do anything to her. He ran by her. Alright, I'm gonna take my... Stuck. I'm gonna get my glasses off for just a second. Because lately it's been easier to paint without them. Because the stuff's up near my face. Okay. So we've made it from like here around to here. Not super fast. And I'm sure it's gonna slow down a little bit once we get into this section. Now I probably could have just grabbed my dotty tools and filled in that area of the inside of the gold circles. Just, you know, dropped the dot tool in there. And just, you know, been done with it. Okay. That drop of water helped a little bit. I feel like that could have probably been another drop, though. And I know there's going to be some purists out there like, oh no, just use a thinning medium. You can add water to acrylic paint. Don't overdo it, but you can add water to thin it down. You absolutely can. And I think we get so caught up in techniques and quote unquote the proper way to do stuff that we forget to see what supplies can do. We forget to play with them. We forget to try to test the limits of stuff. It's like, what if I do this? Will this work? Some stuff might be a fail. And that's okay. Because you still learn something. I know it doesn't feel great at the time. And it can be kind of defeating when trying something that maybe that particular product wasn't quite meant to do. But at least now you know you either have to try it a little bit differently next time, or yeah, that's just not going to work with that. I mean, we need to experiment with stuff. I do think that we get so caught up in stuff looking perfect. That we forget to have fun making the thing. I had one painting. I was trying to do a Bob Ross tutorial, and it involved using liquid black, and it just felt like either I misunderstood what he said or I just totally messed up. Somewhere I lost the plot, right? And I hated how it was coming out. And I'm like, "Ugh, what do I do?" And Russell's like, just scrape it off and start over. It's fine. Just, use this as your learning piece then. And I'm like, all right. It felt so defeating to scrape it off and give up, but I was like, either this particular technique is just not something I am absorbing properly at the moment, or I just need to start over and try it again. So I started scraping it off with a palette knife. And all of a sudden I looked at it. And he's like, "Wait, stop." And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Look at it." And it actually turned into something quite unexpected that I was suddenly happy with. And I was like, that's kind of abstracty now, and it looks kind of cool, even though it's kind of a mess. But it also kind of looks somewhat on purpose, but not exactly. And so I was like, I'm gonna leave it. I'm not gonna start it over. I'm just gonna say this is finished, even though it wasn't necessarily what I wanted it to be. And somebody else loved it. Even though it was what I had considered a major mess up. And that it was one that I was in the middle of scrapping and starting over. Somebody else loved it and actually bought it. And I was like, oh, okay. Happy accident, I guess. So, I mean, it worked out. I need to get back to our gouache series. But I also want to do a tissue paper art again. I probably need to just sit down and start twisting the remaining paper that I have, so that way it's ready to go. For when I get the chance to work on that, because it's going to be a little bit before I have the chance to work on the next tissue paper art. I did add just another paintbrush full of water because it's starting to feel a little unmanageably thick again. Okay. Slow progress is still progress. Right? I'm not someone that paints fast. I get indecisive about stuff, and sometimes it just takes me a little bit longer to get there than other people. And that's okay. I recognize this. I understand this. and I know it's a thing for me. We're not all gonna get there at the same time. Somebody's always gonna be the first one to get there, and someone's always gonna be the last one to get there. As long as we get there, I think that's the more important thing. And sometimes we just don't get there. Maybe we've hated the way a painting has turned. Maybe we're struggling with that. That's okay. That means we either need to step back for a little bit or maybe reevaluate. Maybe we need to change the direction we're going in. Maybe we need to change our mental picture for it. Maybe we need to just keep going and we'll get it there eventually. And maybe some paintings just don't come out the way we want, you know? It happens. I'm sure a lot of people have a pile of canvases that they're like, no, I'm just not happy with this. This is going to the repaint pile where they end up gessoing over it and starting over. Okay. So just trying to be careful around our bubble here and our seagrass. Seagrass, seaweed, whatever you want it to be. Okay. Just working on filling in this big space in between. And we'll get that all filled into there. I mean, most of my stuff never really comes out the way I really wanted it to look. But I try. Right? Like, it'll never get there if I don't try. Okay. Thought that was the way the light was just reflecting, but I wasn't certain. So, gonna work on getting this bubble. Like, I don't want the outline of the bubble to be too thick, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But I don't want it to be too super problematic thin either. And this is why I got that circle stencil, because I can't paint a steady circle to save my life. Oh, horrible. Oh well. Like, I'll be able to clean it up a little bit. Not a whole huge amount, but a little. Okay. I think I need to add a little bit more water, because that does seem to be helping a little bit. Like, not tremendously, but it is helping a little. Okay. Okay. But I mean, the more black I am getting in here, the more this thing is taking on a totally different feel. And I can see it starting to come together. And that makes me all sorts of happy. That is great. I'm beginning to think I should have used a smaller brush for the inside there. Okay, so I'm trying to make sure I'm not painting myself into a corner too much here. I don't know what it is about this shirt I'm wearing, but it seems to be a magnet for every piece of fuzz in this house. Like, I've got like white fuzz all over me. I haven't touched anybody that has white fur since I've been up. The only critter that I've picked up was Bean. Although I will say he does have a couple of spots on him where he's getting like the smallest white hairs ever. I think he's got like 3 or 4 white hairs in this one spot on his chest. And then one of his feet, he's got a spot where it looks like there's just a couple of strands of white fur in a sea of black. It's kind of hilarious. Okay. Oh, this bubble is going to be really tiny. So tiny there. See if we can get that worked in around him. Sounded like there was a cat behind me. Yeah, so the mother-in-law supposedly on their way back, and we were expecting them like within a week. No, they're dicking around on their way back down here. And they probably won't be here till the end of the month. And part of us just wants her to get back here because we have to have a chat with her again. About her spending. And we're not looking forward to that. And we have no idea what kind of cloud of chaos she's going to be bringing with of her. Her sister still has the Doberman because we saw that she just ordered a new shock collar for it, because that's their way of training the dog, and Russell and I strongly disagree with it. But that is also too much dog for those two to handle. And his aunt refuses to admit it because she loves the breed, and I don't know if she had them before or what, but that's great. But you're also in an RV all the time now, and this dog needs to run. And this dog does run. We don't have a fenced-in property. And the dog half the time either breaks her collar open, taking off on them here, flying out into traffic. And there's a lot of traffic. Or they're constantly telling her in extremely loud raised voices to stop and come back because they don't put her on the lead the second they open the door, because they have a lead that they tie to our or attached to one of the clothesline posts that we have in our backyard to put her on. And I'm like, the dog needs a harness since you can't control her and she keeps breaking her collar. And she needs to be on the lead when she's in this yard. It's a long lead. She's got room to run on the lead. It's not like it's a 5-foot lead. It's got a fair distance on it. And she refuses to, so I'm like, I will not have sympathy if that dog gets hit by a car. I will feel bad for the dog. But we've told you and told you and told you. Because she bolts for the street, especially when she sees the one cat in the yard that likes to visit us. She wants that cat bad. I'm like, I will hold you responsible if that dog chases that cat into the street, because you know about the cat, you know how this dog behaves around that cat, and we've told you what you need to do and you're refusing to do it. So we are now just awaiting the chaos. I don't know if it's a thing of we're older than you, yeah, whatever, we're not listening to you. We know better. But if you're gonna behave like children, I don't care how old you are, you're gonna get treated like children. That's the way it is. Okay. I can't tell if that is... I'll be able to see it better once it's dry. I was just hoping to avoid a whole bunch of touch-ups. Okay. These color shifts just look so good against this black. Okay. I'm gonna slide that up just a little bit. I need to put the eye in still. But I also need to get this section done. Let's be careful here. I don't want to overdo with the little bit of overlap there. Okay. Get that. Worked into there. I will say this stuff does slide really nice on the color shift because that's got a slight gloss to it too, so it's just gliding over the edge there. Okay. Get that. In there, because I mean, we're gonna come back and outline the whole thing in the end anyhow, but still trying to make sure I'm as neat as I can be, at least in that particular spot. Right, we don't want Wiggly Hand to get too out of control there. Okay. Getting this worked into here. All right, that's pretty good. Need to carefully finish filling in that little chunk. Okay. Almost there on that little bit. Alright, that doesn't look too bad. Alright, I'm gonna come back in. Sorry if my head's in the shot. But I also kind of need to see what I'm doing. Now this white stuff on my paintbrush, or this off-white stuff that's wrapped around the brush, it's not a fancy grip or anything. It's painter's tape, or masking tape rather, because the ferrule, the little middle crimpy part that the bristles are inserted into, got loose around the paintbrush barrel. So I just used some of the tape that I had on hand. Just kind of tried to tape it a little bit tighter. All right. Now, you know what? Let me do a maintenance rinse. It's been a little bit. Oh, there's a lot of paint in here. In my little cup of water. It had been a few minutes since I had last rinsed, so it all started to settle to the bottom of my cup here. Kind of makes me want to refresh this. Just give me 1 second here. cleaning up my paint cup here. Everything all right?
Yeah, I just gotta find Mr. Bean so that she can go outside.
Try the window. If he's not there,
Mr.
try...
Beans.
Oh, you got him? I was gonna say, if he's not there, try the fridge.
Mr. Beans. Come on, let's go for a nap.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
And just gonna carefully try to outline these guys here. Okay. So I know I still need to deal with this top edge of the canvas here. I think he was watching the birds.
I don't. No. Stop shooting.
You feeling any better?
I feel a little better. I'm gonna go grab myself some more water.
Okay. All right. Oh, I mean, we haven't gotten super far today, but it's also been a lot of little tiny bits that we've been painting around. So at the same time, it's not so bad progress-wise. I know our bubbles look like a hot mess at the moment, and they're going to until we get further along. That's just the way of it. Oh, right. So I think I started to say this, but I didn't finish earlier. So I'm on video 42 of the 180 clips that need to be edited. And came to the horrible, horrible realization that even cut down, sped up, and a lot of unneeded footage taken out. But this final quote unquote speed video time lapse of this tissue paper project is still going to be like 9 hours long. Considering I'm already at 2 hours out of 40 videos. I mean, it does kind of depend on how much gets cut out of the remainder footage. But I am a little nervous about how long it's gonna be, but at the same time I have to remind myself this is footage of 2 to 3 days a week of me working on it for 7 months. So it's gonna be a hefty one. Okay. Trying to keep my arm out of trouble here. I always paint myself into a corner and forget that I need to work out to in to keep me from laying my arm through stuff. But my brain refuses to acknowledge that fact. And when I'm using the craft paints, it's not so much of an issue because the craft paint dries quite a bit faster. That was an awfully loud thud. Was that her coming back in? It might have just been her door slamming. Give me 1 second. She doesn't always wear her button. So I will be right back. Sorry, had to go check on my mom. It turned out the delivery that I was waiting for had shown up. So this is what we're gonna try to do for her for Christmas. So there's a couple different patterns in here, and all of the thread is supposed to be with it. So I'm not gonna open it up just yet. I don't want to get paint on it or anything. But alright, so that came. We kind of had to order it when we did, so that way I'm ready to start it. So I can start it as soon as this wraps up. Alright. And then she was trying to wrap me into a conversation, and she's like, I need you guys to start thinking about your Christmas list. I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea what I would ask for. I don't really need a whole lot right now. I've got a bunch of stuff to keep me busy for a while. Maybe just a couple of clothing items. I almost want to ask for rain boots to wear to the beach for when we try to get there in the spring, late spring. So that way my main shoes don't get all icky. And totally full of sand. But we will see. Kind of want a digital art pad so I can work on a few things that I've been wanting to work on without trying to disentangle the husband's art pad. But he was talking about maybe replacing his. And then me taking that one. Like, I don't need a new Kindle. My Kindle's fine. For now. My computer's fine for now. I'm still really good on yarn. So I don't really need much there. It might be a lighter Christmas request, and anything that's left we put towards our upcoming trip. It just might be what we end up doing. I don't know yet. Like, we ordered my mom's actual gift. She doesn't think she can do it, but I think if we blow the directions up enough for her. Because I know that you can do a latch hook without the tool. You don't have to use the tool. Because it's essentially what she's been doing on the edge of her pillows anyway. So we got her a rooster latch hook rug to work on, and we'll just increase the directions. We have the scanner, we can enlarge them. And tape the whole thing together. Oh, can you go get Bean when you're done whatever you're doing?
Hmm?
Can you go get Bean when you're done doing whatever you're doing?
Mm-hmm.
I will say it does look like it's gonna rain out there right now. I forgot to check on that, actually. Hmm. Been a lot of bear attacks recently. It's kind of just cloudy right now. There's some showers on the other side of the state. And some showers to our north, so we're kind of sitting in the middle of a frontal boundary. We're kind of in between two. So that might also not be helping because he doesn't feel so great today, and I'm not that far behind him. To be perfectly honest. But I really, really wanted to get some work done on this today. Like, I dare not miss another week. Now, if it was a needle felting day, I might have opted to skip needle felting today. My head's just a little too throbby for that. We'll see how I'm feeling tomorrow. Just don't be surprised if I cancel tomorrow. I'm gonna try not to. And I could be feeling better, but we'll see. This time of year is not easy. Because we're either just getting slammed by allergies or it's a temperature roller coaster where it's like dropping down into the 50s at night and then back into the 80s during the day, and it wreaks havoc on my neck. we'll see what tomorrow brings. But I think I'm okay enough to do this for, well, I don't know, because the back of my head's really starting to hurt, but I was okay until I got up and moved, and then I'm like, oh. Didn't help that, with that loud thud, because, like, it sounded like it came from her room, and I was like, what? And she has fallen a couple of times where we didn't hear her. She doesn't yell that loud. And we thought it was the cats. We wrote it off as cats fucking around. Because cats be cattin' and knocking shit over, so we didn't really pay much mind to it. And we have gotten her a button to press that she wears around her neck to alert us if she's fallen. Similar to that Help I've Fallen and Can't Get Up button, but it comes to us instead of, like, emergency services. Alright, let me rinse that. I need to get a little bit more paint here. Also needed some more allergy medicine. I don't think I had taken any since I had gotten up. Let's not squirt that over the piece, shall we? We've already had one almost huge disaster today. Let's not push our luck here. Okay. Bit more fresh paint out. Added just a little bit of water, like just a paintbrush worth. Just to try to help it glide a little bit better. All right. We're looking pretty good here. I know it's kind of boring because we're just doing background fill-in. And that's not super exciting for some people. And I mean, I get it, but at the same time, it is a little bit exciting because as we're getting this in, it's definitely changing the feel. And it's making the other colors on here just kind of pop out all that much more. Did you ever go get Bean?
Not yet. I will over.
Okay. So I just want to make sure that I've got all of our little crevices filled in there as best as we can. And we're doing pretty good here. Been able to catch most of the spots that we're gonna need a touch up. Okay. Fill this section into here. Oh, just one moment. Sorry. For those that are new here, our caller ID announces who's calling.
Free the beans.
Oh no, Beans is free! At least he has a bird feeder to kind of watch now, when he remembers it's there. It's a very popular window. He's not always able to get to it. I kind of think that's why Littles has been wanting the curtain open in the kitchen. She can kind of see that window from there. And then she doesn't have to worry about any of the silly boys trying to make her feel trapped in that window. I'm not sure if that's just a little thing or if it's something that she just learned from our other cat that we had for a while. That was a rescue that was not a fan of the boys. Bean found cow. Bean and cow together again. thinking I got paint on my arm when I go to pull it up, because the color shift feels a little tacky when I pull my arm up. It's not, it's dry, it's just how it is. Hi, 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 hi. Cow, we don't ride, or Bean, we don't ride cow. Looked like an oversized cowboy trying to ride a pony. Still curious to see how big Bean is going to get. Because if he's 6 months, they weren't 100% sure, but they thought he was maybe 5 to 6 months. He seems a little small for 6 months to me. Or maybe we just have big cats. Which is entirely possible. Because, I mean, Littles isn't real big. She's chonky, but she's not big. I think Cow's probably... Cow was the smallest before Little, so he's gonna be the smallest of the males, or at least he was before Bean showed up. Okay. So, I mean, we're pretty decently all far along here. I mean, it helps that the seagrass takes up a good chunk over here. I will say that. I do need to get this interior, though. Like this section in here. I want to get to that before I get too far. Like this is where we're gonna clean up our edges a little bit within reason. Like we can't go too crazy. because we still need to bring the gold in. So hopefully we can do this without busting up anything too badly. Hopefully. Just feel like this has gotten a little thick. Just gonna dip into the water. Just kind of swirl that around through my bit of paint here. Wasn't really sure how far we were gonna get today, but I'm reasonably happy with where we have gotten to so far. We are painting around a fair bit of detail. And that does take a little bit of time. And again, I am using a smaller brush just so I don't have to keep constantly changing it. I mean, by all means, if you want to keep changing back and forth, go right ahead. This is just what's working for me. So again, I hope everybody's Monday's going as good as a Monday can be. So after we get all of the black paint in, I'm gonna come back with my, once the black paint is in and dry, put it that way, I will come back in with my kneaded eraser and just start lifting up the pencil lines from where all of the gold paint is going to go. Just so that's one less thing I'm battling. I didn't want to get rid of those lines until I was at this stage because I wanted to know approximately where my circle was going in the middle of our little spokes coming off of the side, and I have an easier time doing a circle with a guideline. I can only imagine how bad those circles would look if I didn't have the stencil. I mean, some of those are a bit wobbly, and that was with the the circle stencil helping us. Like I said, you know, even if I use a stencil or a template to try to get the idea down, it still doesn't always guarantee that it's going to be super close to what I had originally envisioned, because it's gonna morph and change and wiggle and wobble and all that fun stuff before it ever gets there to the end. Now I still do have to give attention to the top edge that's out of camera view mostly. I think that one, I'm gonna wait until we are done with stream to deal with, because you're not missing nothing, it's just the edge. Right, I had gotten the edge on the other side kind of badly on camera, but not, just because I wanted to be done that side, so I didn't have to worry about it. But I'll just turn the fan up once we're done and kind of hold this until it feels safe enough to put in my little cubby. Others are trying to stick to everything. Including me. Nap time for everybody. I think I see a black void puddle on the bed. Unless everybody's starting to feel the weather. We could use some more rain. All that rain that we had like a week or two ago. And we are already back flirting with the drought line. And apparently there was some flooding downtown. Our street didn't flood. Sometimes our backyard will flood a little bit, but it doesn't usually last very long. We have a drainage ditch behind our house. Ah. Excuse me. Sorry. That kind of snuck up on me. By the time I could feel the burn of the impending sneeze, it was too late. Ooh. Sorry about that, everybody. Excuse me. This feels a little extra today. I wonder if they were cutting hay fields. And trying to use local honey has done nothing for me. Like, hasn't really decreased this at all. When I tried to do it, so I kind of gave up on that. Oh, hold on 1 second. Oh my goodness, sorry. Sneeze like opened the floodgates and my eyes started watering, something terrible. And then I needed to blow my nose. And, ugh. Ugh, my eyes are still watering. Okay. Getting this filled into here. What time is it anyway? All right. And we'll get this. Painted it around. Excuse me. So I don't think I'll get all of the background finished today. Oh my goodness, that sneeze. Done in by a sneeze today. Now my throat's itching. Ugh. Okay. Go back to filling in circles. Or at least trying to. Trying to neatly fill in the circle. He looks a little judgy now that I've got his eyeball in. But I will say that. Just a little bit judgy. Okay. I guess it's a little bit fun that the bubbles aren't all perfectly round. Oh my goodness. I guess this is all my allergy medicine's fault. Now everything's moving. Is that what triggered? Excuse me. Is that what triggered my sneeze? Is my allergy medicine? Could be. Could very well be. Okay. Alright, so guess we are in this middle section now. As we work very carefully to not get a little too carried away and take a large chunk out of our seagrass. As I just ended up doing there. I swear, the more careful I try to be, the more I seem to mess it up. At least that's what it feels like. It also kind of feels like what little water I did add in here has long since gotten used up. Could be wrong, but it's kind of gotten super thick again. Bean has moved. I don't see him on the bed anymore, so I guess that puddle was him. Yep, he found cow. It's just sitting here wondering where he could have gotten off to. Wherever cow is, usually Bean is not far behind. Hey! Get out of the dog bed! Cow. Spicy kids. Spicy, spicy fur children. Okay. So we're not doing half bad. I know I keep going a little bit quiet here, but I'm trying to make sure I don't mess up anything. But even though it's taken us a while to even get this far, I'm still fairly happy. And I'm glad I just wasn't happy with the seaweed and I kept messing with it. Because the fact that I wasn't happy with it, and then I came across the right paint to finally make me happy with it. You know, sometimes you just kind of have to stop working on something for a little bit. And then I did find the right paint. I didn't know I could get the color shifty thingies, the shimmery guys, in those colors. Hey, keep it down! Hey! Snuffles is gonna enter the chat in a minute. Knock it off. She already doesn't look pleased that you all are wrestling that close to her. Jesus Christ. We're like, okay, we'll take it to the floor. Hey. Lady's getting mad now. Stop. Bean, I thought you were taking a nap. You can be out here without, you know, wrestling. You're allowed to be a calm kitty out here. I guess that ship has sailed for now. It is only the ferry to Chaos Town. As it forever and always seems to be. Okay. Oh, does anybody have any good recommendations for beaches to go shelling on in South Florida that you can get to by car? Because this trip's going to be on a budget. Okay, I think I know where we're staying. Providing they have rooms available. But we will see how things pan out. Cow! You are getting in all kinds of trouble. Because he's got to be so loud while they're wrestling. Beans doesn't make a noise while they're wrestling. I don't hear Bean meow very much. He does meow though. He has gotten angry little meows when he wants out of the other room. When he has to be in there because we've got the doors open and bringing stuff in from the car or what have you, or my mom going out to smoke. Sometimes he will be mad yelling in there. And once in a while he'll do like a tiny little kitty battle cry when he's playing with a toy, when he'll go meow before he pounces it. But that noise is all cow if it's getting picked up. Sometimes it picks up, sometimes it doesn't. Depends on how loud cow is getting. But like I said, cow's a drama queen, and he's making those pissy sounding meows even when the kitten's not touching him. But then the other night, we weren't sure if he was looking for the baby because he was walking around meowing, half-heartedly tapping a toy. So I don't really know. Alright, I'm gonna clean my brush. And we need to put some more paint in our cup. Okay. I've used both sides of my little cookie cup here. That was too much paint. I won't end up using all of that today. At least I don't think I will. Because that was an awful lot. So because of how much that was, I just grabbed about 2 paintbrush fulls of water. To mix into that. Okay. But like once we get past all of the detail-y bits, we can certainly start to pick up the piece, especially out here in the middle. Maybe we have to rein it back in. Once we get back up against the seaweed and stuff. Okay. So I still have to be a little bit careful in here. A, I don't want to flub my paintbrush again. And B, I don't want to take out too much of the seagrass with our black paint here. While also making sure to cover up the sections that need to be covered. It's like there's a couple of sections here where I kind of went over the edge a little too far with the color shift. from where I wanted that to be. Okay. All this filled in real good in here. And because of Bean crawling all over my desk, even though I keep pulling him off, and then Cow getting up there, I don't like having my paint plate sit around too often with like wet paint on it. When we had the craft paint on it, not a big deal because the craft paint was drying fairly quickly depending on how thick it was on the plate. This stuff though takes quite a bit of time to dry compared to the other paint. So I'm glad I have this little tiny cup essentially. So I can just kind of toss this cup if I still have a lot of wet paint in it. I mean, it's going to get tossed anyway. At least I managed to reuse it for a little bit. I didn't have to worry about them. I would hold on to it longer. If I had somewhere secure to put it. But it's not as easy as just shutting the door to keep them out of it. Because we don't have a door that necessarily shuts like that. Because of our current living arrangements. Okay. I can still see some of the lighter teal streaks that I did on the one bit of seaweed here. Okay. Actually, we got way further than I think I really anticipated getting today. I don't know how far I thought I would get, but I don't think it was quite this far. Okay. I'm gonna try to fill this in here before we go back up. Try to catch up the rest of it. So to speak. Alright. So try to fill in this little guy here. Super, super careful. So this is just a little gap where I've got these guys intertwining with one another. Alright, so see about getting in this edge here. I might have to flip this guy around again. To try to work on this intersection here. I'm not sure yet. How I want to handle that exactly. Gonna depend a little bit here. No, Bean. No, no. No, 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 no. Hi, no. Hi, buddy. What's up? Hi, Struggle Beans. Come here. Hey, no bunny feet. No bunny feet. Hey, hey. What's up? No, you can't be on my desk right now. Thank you. Brat. Last thing I need is black kitten footprints walking through here. Not right now. I will set him up a time to paint. Eventually. No, you, no, no, get down. Mr. Bean, that is not for drinking. Hi, buddy. No. Kitten break. What's up? What's up? See, we're painting. Oh, did you see the camera? No, you're not jumping in the middle of that. Thank you. Please and no. Let's try this again. I think he's bored because Cal stopped playing with him, so he's looking for something to get into. Anything. Finally remembered to fun tack my turtles down to my desk. All but the fabric turtle. I didn't want to fun tack that one. And in theory, that one shouldn't break when it hits the ground. Okay. So, bean is the reason why my hands look so ripped up at times right now. So if I have an exuberant amount of scratches or little cuts everywhere, it's because of him. And if I tried to put a band-aid to hide every single one, my hand would be nothing but band-aids. And that's not gonna quite work. I feel like he got the side of my hand though, just now. Has that like paper cut sting, but I'm not seeing anything. Okay. Paint's getting kinda thick again. It's not completely fighting me. But I am trying to have to coax it along a little bit here. There. Let's try to get this little bit in here. Okay. Yeah, when it gets thicker, it gets a little bit harder to gauge how well it's gonna behave in here. Okay. Yeah, I think I need to add another drop in here. Like, I'm not adding much. Like, just like a paintbrush full. This particular paintbrush full of water. Just enough to help it spread a little bit better. Just a little bit. But, gotten through a good amount of this today. Okay. Again, real careful along the edge of our grassy things here. I still haven't had the chance to really get in and play much Minecraft yet. I didn't have much time to do anything yesterday after stream. It was pretty steady yesterday. We got done stream, we took the doggos for their WALK. Came home, had like 10 minutes before we had to start dinner. And then just as we finished dinner, it was time to do Fallout with some friends. And then I couldn't fight my headache anymore. And ended up bowing out early. And went to go deal with the mess in the kitchen. All that. And then it was time for bed, like immediately, so I got nothing extra done. Okay. Alright, so let's have a little bit more in this spot. Okay, so we've just got this little corner down in here. Let's see. If I turn you, and it still looks a little bit of a mess up in here. I'm hoping that will even out. Once I get the sealer on there. Hopefully it will. We'll see. If it doesn't, I'm gonna be real mad because I'm gonna have to try to paint something to even it out over the sealer. We'll see, I guess. It might also still be in its drying stages too, so. We'll have to wait and see on that. I don't know that I'm going to get all of this done today. If I stop soon, how much does that leave me? Maybe an hour and a half. Which is probably slightly underestimating. Probably. There's also the thing of if I stop too soon and we take the doggos too soon, he's gonna think he's going again after dinner and be oh so sassy. When that is not what's gonna happen. No matter the sass today. I think they said we definitely had chances of rain tomorrow. Kind of surprised it's not doing anything right now. With as gray as it looked when I stepped out earlier. Oh shit. fucked that up? Can I fix that? Do I have... I think I do. Is that a... okay. I think I can fix that. Dang it. I'm just going along. It kind of didn't look quite right, or I was just looking at it from a bad angle and wasn't paying attention. Alright, so for anyone that didn't catch what I just fucked up, accidentally started painting in the black spooky, or the spooky part that's going to be gold black. It's not a huge problem. I mean, it's fixable. I mean, it's acrylic paint. Everything's fixable. It's just a matter of how much of a pain in the ass it's going to be to fix it. Essentially. Shouldn't be too bad. But I do need to fix that. Alright, so get this filled in here. Alright, and I'm not wearing paint. Hold on a second, everybody. Sorry, my mom needed something. Okay. My goodness. I think my arm just went in that one. It was dry, but my skin definitely stuck to it there. Alright, so I'm just gonna fill in this bit down here. So that we can clean up this one spot. I'm trying to give that black a chance to dry just a little bit. Okay. Alright, so let me rinse this. Okay. Need to really rinse this guy out pretty good. Because it looks like we got quite a bit on the edge of the brush there. Alright, so I'm not gonna squeeze out any of the white anywhere. Oh my gosh, I'm covered in fur. So this is the white Americana. Now I did put that on very thick. Surprised that covered that well. Probably because of how thick I put it on there. Just kind of dropped a bead of it. So hopefully, as that dries, the black won't be too visible. Alright, so I think we'll call it there today. Not bad. Not bad. This is still a little splotchy. Just with the way the light's hitting it. In certain spots, like there, it's a little bit easier to see the splotchy. So I'm hoping that once we get everything else done and we get a sealer on this guy, it'll be a little bit more even toned. But that's it for today. So we will try to be back tomorrow for neater. We will try to be back tomorrow for needle felting. That's going to depend on how my neck's feeling tomorrow, but we'll try. As we are starting to add the color to the body, the top of the body, we got the underside of the body filled in last week, and we're starting our journey with our yellow color on the top. And we'll see how that goes and where that takes us. Hopefully tomorrow and Wednesday, I hope to be streaming Planet Zoo, and I don't know, Thursday we might do some more Katamari, we might not. I might skip this week just so that I can try to get some more editing done, because I am feeling way behind on that. So thank y'all for checking things out today. We're making progress, and I will see everyone hopefully tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and have a good one.